New versus used motorcycle. What should you really buy? So you're ready to buy your first motorcycle, or maybe your next one, and you're staring down two very different options. On one side, there's a shiny, untouched dealer fresh machine with 0 miles, flawless paint, and that seductive new bike smell. On the other, there's a slightly beat up but way cheaper used bike from some guy named Dave on Facebook Marketplace who swears she runs great, even though he spelled Yamaha wrong in the listing. This is the eternal rider's dilemma: buy new or buy used? Today, we're going to break it down in full. I'm Matthew from Autozium, and we're diving deep into the pros, the cons, the hidden costs, and the real world truths behind buying a used motorcycle versus going brand new. No BS, no dealer pressure, just real talk from one rider to another. So, helmet on, let's right into it. The case for buying used. Let's start where most smart riders begin: buying used. Honestly, if you're a newer rider, this might be the smartest decision you'll ever make. 1. Mistakes are inevitable. Used bikes soften the blow. First things first, let's be real. If you're new to riding, chances are high that you're going to drop your bike at some point. It might not be a full blown crash, hopefully not, but a low speed tip over in a parking lot or a slow speed stall at a red light. It happens to almost everyone. Even seasoned riders occasionally have their oops moments. And when that happens, do you want to be staring at the freshly gouged tank of your $12,000 brand new bike? Or would you rather brush the dust off a couple of scratches on a $3,500 used ride and move on? That's the beauty of used bikes. They're not perfect, and they don't expect you to be either. There's a certain freedom in not worrying about keeping the bike showroom fresh. You're free to ride, to learn, and yes, to screw up occasionally, without turning every mistake into a heartbreaker. 2. The price is right. Let's talk money. Motorcycles, even new ones, are cheaper than cars. But that doesn't mean new bikes are always affordable. A lightly used sport bike or standard can be thousands of dollars cheaper than the same bike brand new. And that price difference isn't just upfront. Used bikes are cheaper to insure, cheaper to register, cheaper to maintain in some cases, and way easier to resell without taking a huge loss. Depreciation has already taken its bite out of the value, so you're not the one stuck paying for the steepest part of the curve. It's like getting a bike that's 90% as good as new for 60% of the price. Number 3, you learn more with a used bike. Here's something most people overlook. Riding a used bike teaches you things. Because when it's not a pristine new showroom piece, you're less afraid to wrench on it. You'll learn how to lube your chain, how to bleed brakes, how to do your own oil change, how to listen for weird noises and fix little issues before they become big ones. You become more connected to the machine, not just as a rider, but as a caretaker. It's like bonding with an old dog. It may be scrappy, but you'll know it inside and out. And if you're buying a slightly older model, parts are usually cheaper and more widely available. Forums will have 10 years worth of DIY fixes, mods, and tips. The support network is already built. 4. Freedom to experiment. Used bikes give you something new bikes can't: freedom to explore your identity as a rider. Want to try a cruiser for a few months? Go for it. Not your thing? Flip it and try a sport bike, or a dual sport, or a naked standard. Because you're not married to the bike financially, you're free to experiment. Buying used is a low commitment way to figure out what kind of rider you really are. That $3,000 Ninja 250 might not be your forever bike, but it could teach you whether you like tucking in and carving corners or if you'd rather sit up and cruise. Used bikes let you explore without locking you in. But there are risks. Of course, it's not all sunshine and torque when it comes to buying used. There are real dangers, pitfalls, nightmares lurking behind good-looking listings. Let's talk about those. 1. The mystery box problem. Used bikes come with history, and sometimes that history is colorful. Maybe the seller's been honest, maybe they've taken care of it, or maybe they're just trying to offload a money pit with a fresh coat of wax. You could be buying a bike that was wheelied, dropped, or raced every weekend. Maybe the clutch is on its last leg. Maybe the electrical system has gremlins. Maybe it's got a salvage title. Maybe the frame is cracked in a spot you didn't know to look. Unless you know how to inspect a used bike or bring someone with you who does, you could end up stuck with a machine that's more shop time than saddle time. 2. Repairs can add up fast. That great deal you found for $2,500? Add a new battery, tires, fork seals, chain and sprockets, brake pads, and maybe an ECU flash. And suddenly, you've spent more than it would have cost to buy a newer bike in the first place. If you're not careful, your budget bike becomes a rolling repair bill. So, yes, buying used can save you money, but only if you know what to avoid. The case for buying new. All right, let's flip it. Why do people still buy new? Because honestly, there's something deeply satisfying about it. One, peace of mind. When you buy new, you know exactly what you're getting. No sketchy mods, no hidden problems, no worn out components or mystery noises. Just you, a brand new bike, and a clean slate. It starts every time. It runs like butter. And if something does go wrong, you've got a warranty and dealer support to back you up. For a lot of riders, especially folks who aren't mechanically inclined, that peace of mind is worth every extra dollar. 2. You're the first. There's something to be said about being the first person to ever ride a machine. That first twist of the throttle, that untouched engine breaking in under your wrist. No weird smells from the previous owner. No duct taped fairings. No mystery clack when you downshift, just a blank canvas and the start of a relationship. It's kind of like moving into a brand new house. No history, no weird quirks, just clean, fresh ownership. 3. Modern tech and features. New bikes come loaded with features you won't find on older models. Ride modes, quick shifters, traction control, cornering ABS, TFT displays, smartphone integration, heated grips, adaptive cruise control. The works. These aren't just gimmicks. They can make your ride smoother, safer, and more enjoyable. Plus, modern bikes are often lighter, more efficient, and better engineered than their predecessors. Financing and dealer support. If you don't have a lump sum to drop on a used bike, buying new means you can finance. Some dealerships even offer 0% APR or low down payments. You might also get free service intervals, discounted gear, or extended warranties as part of the package. And if you need help or maintenance down the road, there's a dealer network to back you up. The downsides of new. Let's not pretend new bikes are all pros and no cons. There are trade-offs. 1. Depreciation is brutal. The second you ride that new bike off the lot, its value drops fast. A bike that costs $9,000 new might only fetch $6,500 6 months later. And if you financed it, you're underwater for a while. If you're not planning to keep the bike long term, buying new can hurt you financially. 2. Higher insurance and fees. Insurance premiums are typically higher for new bikes. You're required to carry full coverage if you finance. Registration fees can be steeper. And then there are dealer fees, freight, setup, paperwork that can tack on hundreds or thousands more to your out the door price. 3. You're committing long term. With a new bike, you're usually locked in, either financially or emotionally. You're less likely to experiment, to tinker, to take risks. You're invested, which is fine if it's the right bike. But what if it isn't? So what's the right move? If you're still asking which is better, new or used, you're asking the wrong question. The real question is, what's better for you right now? If you're a new rider, go used. Not junk, not sketchy, just a clean, mechanically sound, affordable used bike. Something you won't be afraid to drop or wrench on. Start small. Honda CB500F, Suzuki SV650, Kawasaki Ninja 400, Yamaha MT-03. Ride it for a season. Learn, grow, figure out what kind of riding you love. Then level up. If you're coming back to riding, It depends. If you're rusty and want to relearn the ropes, a used bike might still be smart, but if you've got the budget and confidence and want something ultra reliable with modern tech, new could be worth it. If you know exactly what you want, new starts making more sense, especially if you're looking for a long term relationship with your ride. The peace of mind, the modern features, the ability to customize from scratch, it all lines up. If you're on a tight budget, used is the move. Just do your homework. Ask for maintenance records. Learn how to inspect a bike, or bring a friend who knows their stuff. There are gems out there. Don't rush. Final thoughts. There's no one size fits all answer here. Used bikes offer freedom, affordability, and room to learn. New bikes offer confidence, convenience, and cutting edge tech. Both will get you on the road. And ultimately, that's the goal to ride. So whether it's a new Yamaha MT-07 or a beat up Ninja 250, if it gets you out of the garage and into the wind, it's a good bike. I'm Matthew from Autozium. Ride smart, ride often, and I'll see you out there.